Torah guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah nation.
Shalom, 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 YASHAR and Yahudah. Listen, by Yahuah's Ruach HaKodesh, we are at this again. We have to cry loud and spare not and lift up our voice like a trump in Zion. We have to warn the people to get ready for the great reveal. And we have to preach this witness. You have to be born of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh. You must be born again. You must be filled with his, listen, Ruach HaKodesh, listening to none other than Hezekiah. Songs entitled this hour, 144, I don't know the rights to this music. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign. Yahuah, take and have dominion over this tabernacle, this body, this vessel, this instrument of righteousness. I can do nothing in and of myself except the Ruach HaKodesh gives me a word. And Yahuah, I will do and say that which you've called me to say. My prayer is that no one be turned out of the way. No one come up lame. No one stumbles. But that your word be that lamp and that light unto their pathway. Your word would bring light and it would give understanding to the simple. That a young man, a young woman's ways can be cleansed by taking heed to your Torah, your Basurah, Yahuah. There is life in no other name. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I declare this witness. Yahuah, I pray right now in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach that you would, by your authority in me, this Ruach HaKodesh, you've given me keys to the kingdom. I take authority over every work of darkness, every power, every principality, every dominion that's usurping itself over the ears of those who are to receive this word. I say in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, no weapon turned against them prospers. I say that you will not hinder, stop, or delay Yahuah's word, his plan in them. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, cease in your maneuvers and your activities concerning his people he has chosen. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, listen. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, understand this. We are in that hour. Yahuah has given me a message more recently, and it is to get ready for the great reveal. Yahuah is revealing things in this arrest that are shaking the foundation of the world. He is manifesting who his children are. He is manifesting where salvation lies. He is manifesting his greatness, his power, his ability to save, to bring Yeshua in this dispensation in time. And listen, I am just one voice crying in the wilderness, calling you to repent, calling you to turn, calling you to receive this witness. The Ruach HaKodesh, the water and the blood, there's Yeshua and no other name. There is no Yeshua in any other name than Yah's salvation. That's the only name given unto men whereby they must receive Yeshua, because you just can't turn to Yahuah, like your forefathers, and you just gonna start reading Torah, and you just gonna start adopting the laws, and all of a sudden be in right standing with Yahuah. No, it don't work like that. You got to come with an offering. You have to come washed. You have to have a priest that can take your offerings into the holies of holies if you are Yahudim. You have to understand Yahuah has an order. He has a process that must be adhered to, that must be obeyed. You become his when you enter into atonement. And the only way to enter into atonement is to come before him having washed, come to him having an offering to present to this priest, this high priest that solely has the authority to offer up your sacrifice to Yahuah. Without this, it can't be done. So you listen, you just ain't coming to the Torah. You just ain't turning to the Torah. You must come by way of Yah's salvation. He has provided a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. He is king and priest. Not only is he going to serve in the heaven, in the kingdom as the king, but he's going to head the priesthood. Why? Because he is that high priest that Yahuah has anointed. He poured his Ruach HaKodesh on him, and he has anointed him. He has been king and priest, and you got to come through him. Ain't no other priest you gonna come through. You can't offer up no sacrifice for yourself. Hebrew, you can't offer up no sacrifice for yourself. You can't accept this covenant and walk into it without an atonement. And you ain't got a high priest. You ain't even qualified to offer an atonement. Only the high priest, only those that Yahuah had designated could offer up innocent blood on an altar. And that's only after they have sacrificed for themselves and provided washing and ceremonial rites that they had to do. You can't do it. How you gonna do it in your state? You got to be born again. Yahuah said, listen. I have sent this baptizer, right here, who went before my salvation. I mandated him to declare to the people that they must make straight the path. They must come and repent and wash and then receive the blood atonement of Yahushua HaMashiach and then be a part of the family and receive his Ruach HaKodesh. You got to have Yahuah's seed in you. If you ain't got a seed in you, bro, you are stuck like Chuck. You're on the outside looking in. You ain't going to get into the kingdom. You going to come to the gate and it's going to say, entrance not allowed. Because that's this we are in. We are called to preach this witness. So you don't like that, it don't matter. It's the truth. It's the Basora truth. But you ought to be grateful that you can be restored as his seed. You aqov, YASHAR and Yehudah. Aqov, you are his seed. Listen. He's established everything around us because of us. Somebody gonna hear the word. He has established everything around us to function in conjunction with us. That's why, because we turned, right? We turned to him. He says, okay, it's time for me to reveal. Because I got enough Hebrews that understand the process of atonement. And they have come by way of water, and they've come by way of blood, and they have received the Ruach HaKodesh. See, and because of this, I put a seal on it. Yeah. See, they bear about now a seal, right? They bear a seal, right? Yeah, I can recognize them. They're recognizable. Yeah. Just because you understand that you the people don't make you recognizable to you. Matter of fact, let me make that a little more plainer. He may recognize you and identify you as a part of the lineage, but you ain't into his kingdom. You ain't gonna get in. You ain't gonna get in just because you E1B1A. You ain't gonna get in because you possess a certain bloodline. Yeah, because even in the bloodline you got diabolical worshipers of Els. You got people that won't let go of Babylon. Got people that won't let go of Babylon. they still want to continue to take part in their dainties. Oh, yeah. They still want to wear their emblems and their symbols. I don't care if you don't like it. Yeah, you still want to run around and be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Right. You still want to run around and be a Buffalo Bills. That's your L for the winter solstice. Yeah, you devils. You better understand that you got to come out. Yeah. Brothers out there took Maxine, Aberdeen, and Claudine, and dropping like flies. Yeah. You still going out there. You don't believe the report? So whose report will you believe? Right. Oh, you continue. You go. Yeah. You go in your plantations and your arenas. Yeah. You go ahead. And be judged. Right, because you know what? Yahuah is not going to tolerate it. Listen, man of Yah, woman of Yah, hear ye. Get ready for the great reveal. Get ready. Yeah, Yahuah's going to reveal. He's going to uncover. He's going to gather. He's going to do it all. Listen. You got to understand that if you're his and you have come under his atonement of Yahushua Mashiach's blood, and you now his because he's giving you his Ruach HaKodesh. Right. You got to know that, you ain't nothing can be done to you. Ain't no enemy that can prevail against you. No weapon can be launched against you to prosper. Book of YASHAR. The 30th chapter. Kadar! Fathead! Go lay down! Listen. Our forefathers had a covenant. A guarantee. A sure word from you. Yahuah and Yahudah. And our fathers understood by virtue of this covenant, these Torahs, these laws, these commandments, this blood atonement. Every year, these feast days, they were in line, in agreement with, under the protection of, under the shadows of the wings of Yahuah. And Yahushua Mashiach's witness, having been born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh, having received the atonement, now under this covenant that has been renewed for Yashar and Yahudah. And this covenant is a new thing for the grafted in Gentiles, right? There's a promise of protection. Now listen. This is not to the exclusion of having to sometimes suffer, right, for his name. This is not to that exclusion, because, listen, there are some things that we just gonna have to suffer for his name's sake. But listen, we are not going to be run over and trampled down and our dominion be taken ever again after this gathering, this establishing as his people. It may cost us something. Not all of us, but some of us, we may have to lose our lives in order to gain it. Because, we lose our life in receiving the witness of Yahushua Mashiach in order to gain life. Right. But we give up the right. We yield over to Yahuah's mercies. We surrender our will to the Torah and the Besorah. And if it means that we are put to death for righteousness, then so be it. But listen, understand that can't nobody just do anything to you. Can't nobody just do anything to you. Right. Now listen. Our forefathers had to believe in the covenant. They had to believe in keeping Torah. They had to believe in the atonement. They had to believe in the feast days and the effectiveness that comes with continual abiding, remaining, continuing, and dwelling in them. They had to believe it. See, Avraham, the scripture says, Avraham against hope believed in hope that he would be the father of many nations according to that which Yahuah had spoken to him, and so shall his seed be. Now he was not weak in faith, and he considered not his own body now dead when he was yet 100. Neither did he consider yet the deadness of Sarah's womb, right? But he staggered not at the promises of Yahuah through unbelief, but was strong in emunah. Being fully persuaded that what he had promised he was well able to perform, he knew that Yahuah was true to his word. He believed it. Scripture says Avraham looked for a city who had foundation, whose builder and maker was Yahuah Elohiym. Kadar! Shut up! You and Fathead, go lay down! Look for a city. He believed that he was going to see this city. And he understood that the city was something Yahuah was promised to him. He understood the covenant. See, we who are in Yahushua Mashiach has to grab onto it, latch hold of it as Avraham did. We had to believe Yahuah's word or believe him for his works, but at the end of the day, we got to believe what he said. He said these signs shall follow them to believe. I got to believe that. I got to believe that I cast out devils. I got to believe I can speak with new tongues. I got to believe I take up serpents. I got to believe if I drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt me. I got to believe I can lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. I got to believe it. Yahuah gave promises. Understand, we're going to be tested. Understand with this great reveal, there's coming test. Some of y'all just coming to this witness, done taken Maxine, Claudine, and Aberdeen 3 times. Some of y'all 2 times. Some of y'all just 1 time. You better believe and know that what Yahuah has said is true. You better believe what Yahushua said. See. You gotta understand this. serious. This is understanding what he said and hanging on to it, latching onto it, grabbing onto it with everything you got. Right. You gotta do it. Now, listen. YASHAR, the 30th chapter. Right? We have an experience with Yahuah. The son of Yitschaq. Grandfather is Avraham. Yaakov went forth, continuing his road to Haran. And he came as far as Mount Moriyah. And he tarried there all night near the city of Luz. So, he's on his way to Haran. And I think this is the time when he's leaving to leave his father, right? And he's going to get a wife. I think this is maybe, yes, it's 21. Because his mother told him to go to her brothers, because he got daughters. Right, Yehuda, Rebecca, Rachel, and Rebecca, and the sisters, and the handmaidens. He found the whole 12 tribes. He married them all. One house. He produced the whole 12 tribes in one house. But anyway, he was on his way there. He got to Mount Moriyah, inside the city of Luz. Right? And he laid down, right? He tarried there. He rested there all night in the city of Luz. And Yahuah appeared there unto Yaakov on that night, and he said unto him, I am Yahuah. I am Yahuah Elohiym. He said to him, of Avraham. I am the Elohiym. I'm Yahuah, the Elohiym of Avraham, your grandfather. Right? I am the Elohiym of Yitschaq, your father. Right? And the land upon which you lie, I will give unto you and your seed. See, YASHAR, that covenant applies to us. If we are in this witness, if we've been born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh, and we have entered into this atonement, having received the witness, right? Have received his seed on the inside of us, then this promise is ours. We can lay claim to this. YASHAR. We can lay claim to this, right? Now, the Gentiles that are grafted in, right? They can participate in this, right? But it's ours by birth. It's ours by birth. He said, and behold, I am with you and will guard you wherever you go. Now, listen, you have told me over a year ago, he said, your name, Gaal. I want you to add that, right? Because he gave me Yaakov, Yehuda. Then he said, you are Gaal. You're guarding. Watch. You're guarding of my Torah. Everybody that comes as a result of this Torah, Behold, I am with you and will guard you wherever you go. Right? Wherever you go. I'm gonna guard you. No. Let's do this. Right? Let's do this. Let's look at this word. Right? Guard. Right? Let's look at the word guard. Right? Guard. He says, to assign, to protect.
Free, here comes Halliburton on the steam.
The moments that make you.
Good pass.
Why would Hasatan
That make you.
put an advertisement?
That's the energy that he can bring.
Here's a long three. What a move by Halliburton.
Really nice job.
Are all on Bounce Sports Plus.
Hasatan, the Most High rebuke you. Right. He ain't gonna slow me down. No, he ain't gonna slow me down. No. Greater is he that is in me than he is in the world. Right? Right? Greater is he that is in me than he is in the world. He said to guard, right? To watch over, right? In order to protect or control. See now, you can only expect this treatment from Yahuah if you are in covenant with him. Listen. You can only expect this treatment if you are in covenant with him, if you're under the atonement, right? If you are keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. This is yours if you have been born again of the water and of the Ruach HaKodesh. This belongs to you. Yahuah is watching over you in order to protect you and to control the outcome. See, listen, that's why he gave you his Ruach HaKodesh to control the outcome. That's why he's given his angels charge over you to control the outcome. That's why he told the angels, wait before you bring the judgment, because I got to seal those and deliver, right? So that I can control their outcome. Listen. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, you better get a clue. You got to believe this in Emunah. You got to believe this in Emunah. You got to believe this staggering not at what he said through unbelief. You got to believe this. It says, right? The gates were guarded by uniformed soldiers. This is part of the definition. It is to protect against damage or harm. Protect against damage. Did you know that Yahuah knew Maxine, Claudine, and Aberdeen were coming? Do you not know that Yahuah know that the Gates Foundation would try to create meat products? That they would try to begin to eliminate chickens, right? So that they could genetically engineer all of that stuff. Shortage of eggs, shortage of chickens. When has there ever been a shortage of chickens? Listen, don't you know Yahuah knew that this clandestine devil was going to be doing these things? But see, this is for the people that come under the covenant. This is for those that have come under the covenant. You better understand, right? that Yahuah has known the necessity of putting his Ruach in you, and Yahusha told you what was necessary in order to receive, because if you have this Ruach HaKodesh, then these things will follow you, and you ain't got to worry about them. You ain't got to worry about sickness. Lay hands on the sick and the shall recover. You ain't got to worry about disease. No weapon, no disease turned against you. You ain't got to worry about demonic oppression. You ain't got to worry about no demons coming up in you to take control. You ain't got to worry about that. You ain't got to worry about eating or drinking any deadly thing. Listen, understand this. When you receive Yahuah's Ruach HaKodesh, there's a metamorphosis. You aligns your DNA. You know, they say we got the God gene already, but listen, when Yahuah sends his Ruach HaKodesh into your house, listen, and you believe the release of that energy that flows from Dunamos and Exousia. You know that you know that you know. He guards. He guards. He guards. He says, a person who keeps watch, to guard, a person who keeps watch, he will give his angels charge over thee. To keep thee in all thy ways, he gave his angels charge over Yahushua Mashiach. He's going to give his angels charge over you. If you're in this covenant, if you're under this atonement. Whose report are you going to believe? You're going to be driven to believe what this Babylonian system is trying to feed you, force feed you, subtly feed you, slowly slow walk and seduce you. Subtleties, seduction. You gotta understand. You better be up under this atonement. You better be up under this atonement. And if Yahuah has done something for you to deliver you from something, you better recognize that he expects you to do what he's called you to do. And that's come out from I'm going to be separate. I know y'all ain't going to like that, but I don't care. A device worn to filter to prevent injury or damage. Something applied to you. Right? Now they say a device worn. Right? But I say, you must receive his Ruach HaKodesh on the inside. That seed has to be upon a part of you. Right? See, because Yahuah is trying to get you to understand that, listen, get ready for the great reveal. And in this great reveal, there's going to be persecution. In this great reveal, there's going to be trial. In this great reveal, they're going to want to give you another Maxine, Claudine, Aberdeen, and Osteen. You better know what you believe. Whose report are you going to believe? Listen, have you listened to some of these reports? Whose reports you gonna believe? And you gotta admit that you made decisions that weren't right, Yahuah. And you didn't know what you know now. But listen, guess what? Yahuah has an atonement. has an atonement. Yahuah has an atonement with your name on it. Let's go. To guard. He says to him, and behold, I am with you and will guard you wherever you go. Wherever you go. I'll guard you. And Stephen knew that Yahuah would guard him wherever he went. When Stephen declared the word to the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the people, and they got angry with him, Stephen knew this ministry had come to a close. You were guarding him, and he guarded him through that. Stephen was able to look up into the Shamim and behold Yahushua at the right hand of Yahuah. And the glory of the Ruach in him shone to such a degree in the process of being transferred. They looked at him and said, oh man, it's like a face shone like an angel, like, what's going on? And yet they still hurled them rocks. Who guarded Stephen? Stephen understood that to be absent in the body was to be present with Yahuah. He had understood that he is overcome. He didn't love his life unto death. Because had he did, he wouldn't have been continually declaring the word to the point in which the Pharisees and Sadducees started threatening him. His life was picking up stones. Listen, he says, and behold, I am with you and will guard you wherever you go. Listen, man of Yah, woman of Yah, if you in this atonement, you up under this witness, the Ruach HaKodesh, the water and the blood, Yahushua HaMashiach's atoning blood has been applied to you. You have received Yahuwah's Ruach HaKodesh. Yahuah watches over you wherever you go. Now again, understand, right? That's why he gives you the Ruach HaKodesh. And in the Ruach HaKodesh, you are to be led. For as many as are led by the Ruach HaKodesh, these are the sons of Yahuah, right? Right? You got to understand the necessity of listening to what the Ruach HaKodesh say. Because if you don't listen to what the Ruach HaKodesh say, you can just go about your and end up, and then Yahuah's got to, because you got to cry out to him, he got to rescue you, but you to listen. Listen. Hey, listen. Every invitation is not an invitation from you. Every invitation is not an invitation from you. Some invitations are just for you. It's just for the enemy to get you in alliance with them. You got to be led by the Ruach HaKodesh. You got to be led by your Ruach HaKodesh. Your ministry got to be a ministry of the Ruach HaKodesh. Your performances got to be performances of the Ruach HaKodesh. And I'm going to tell you once, I'm going to tell you again, right? If Yahuah is using you in ministry and music, you better be laying hands on people. You better be praying for people. You better be seeking the deliverance of people. You better be making full proof of ministry. So now I'm just having concerts. And everybody in there ain't free. You better be making full proof of the ministry. every invitation, right? It's not an invitation from you. I don't know who that's for. Yahuah has a word for you. And it'll get to you. Now, he says, and behold, I am with you and will guard you wherever you go. And I will multiply your seed as the stars of the Shamayim. Kadar! Shut up and go lay down! I tell you, sometimes she just, sometimes I just think this is the enemy getting, because he can use any dumb thing. It's interesting because, I know when my dog's barking because, there's something. There's a threat. I know the difference between the sounds. And then I know when she just barking to be barking. Because she just barks sometimes. I think she barked to hear herself bark. Yeah, no. No. Hasatan, I rebuke you. Shut up. No. Some of y'all dog lovers are going to get offended. Yeah, but I don't care either. Because dogs are dogs. Right? They have a purpose. Right? They ain't kids. Right? You don't treat them bad. They ain't kids. Okay, that's a whole different issue. We ain't going there. Listen, so he said, I'm going to multiply your seeds as stars in heaven. He says, and I will cause your enemies to fall before you. Now listen. Where did we hear this language? When do we hear this language again? Right? When do we hear this language again? This language of covenant protection. Right? When do we hear this language again? Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28. The 6th verse. He says, blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in. Blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. You'll be blessed. You'll be blessed. Right? He says, Yahuah shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. Now, why is he doing this? Because they've entered into a blood oath. They have determined that they were going to continue in Yahuah's law, statutes, and commandments and keep atonement and keep his feast days. See, listen, it ain't enough just to keep the commandments. You got to be under an atonement. Yahuah was talking about keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, and in his statutes and commandments was the atonement. Listen. You can't keep the commandments without the atonement. There has to be blood. There has to be the shedding of blood. Yahuah demanded it once a year. He required it once a year to maintain this covenant. It was that blood that he needed to be able to cover your sins until the time when Yahushua HaMashiach, that lamb that was slain from the foundations of the earth, that lamb that comes to take away the sins of the world, right? Until that came. Until then, you had to be up under the atonement. You couldn't just keep Torah. Every year, you had to come with a sacrifice. Well, we turning back to Torah. We understand now, we as people, and we turning back to Torah. What's your atonement? We don't believe in Yahushua Mashiach. We don't receive that. That's we don't receive that. Okay. Okay. Just like your forefathers. Got to have the blood. See, because they were up under this atonement, right? They had priests that were offering sacrifices, right? They had elders that were keeping them under Torah, and they had the priests and the people. They would gather and they would listen. You gotta understand. You gotta be up under this atonement in order to take part in this. Get ready for the great reveal. He had me preach to you. Preached over a year now that you must be born again of the water of the Ruach HaKodesh. You got to be in this witness. 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 He said, I'll cause your enemies to fall before you. He says here, and Yahuwah shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. Right? Smitten. Right? Smitten before thy face. Now listen. The enemies that rise up, right? To rise up, right? Means to...
Strong's H, 6965.
Kum. Right? Kum. To rise, to arise, to stand, to rise up, to stand up, to rise in a hostile sense, to arise, to become powerful, right? To arise, come on the scene, right? Any way you look at it, they come up. But they come up against thee. Right? Anybody. They rise up, they come up against thee. He says, listen. He says, right? Against thee shall be smitten. What does that word smitten mean?
Strong's H, 5062. Nagath.
Means to strike, to smite, right? To strike, to smite, right? He says to strike, to strike, to smite. Your enemies that come up against you, Yahuwah's going to strike. Yahuwah's going to smite. Right? But you're going to strike and smite too. At no time did our forefathers not have to participate. All the time. They had to invest in the outcome. Now, Yahuwah would do supernatural feats, but they still had to smite by the arm of Yahuwah. They had to be prepared to defend. The weapon that's launched against them wouldn't prevail. That's why one was able to put 1,000 in flight, two would put 10,000 in flight. Why? Why did the enemies run from it? Because Yahuwah did things in the midst of them that caused panic and disarray. Right? But we still pursued. We still pursued. We still had to fight. We still had to war. We still had to engage. Still had to engage. Yahuah moved supernaturally before Dawid. He moved supernaturally before Gideon. But they still had to move. Yahuah did supernatural feats before them, but they still had to fight. He says, listen. Yahuah shall cause thy enemies to rise up against thee, be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way. They're coming out against you. But they're going to run from you 7 ways. See, because Yahuah's going to cause you to go to pursue. You're going to be in pursuit. You'll be in pursuit. But the fear of Yahuah in you. See, I believe in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. That Yahushua Mashiach is the king. He's the ruler. He has an army. He has an army of Malachim. Right? I also believe that Yahushua has the redeemed, the quickened. They're going to meet him and going to participate in battle. See, but we don't have to worry about them coming out against us. Because you said it flee before 7 ways. He says, Yahuah shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. He says here in the 30th chapter of YASHAR, right? He says here in the 2nd verse, I will cause your enemies to fall before you. And when they shall make war with you, they shall not prevail over you. Okay, so they will not prevail, right? They will prevail. Right, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Right? Let's look at this prevail. Let's look at this word prevail, right? Kadar, shut up! Let's look at the word prevail. Right. It says to prevail, to be more powerful than the opposing force. Excuse me for a second. think I got that taken care of. Back there barking at some chihuahua across the street in the other neighborhood. No, not acceptable. So, he says, and when they shall make war, right? When they make war, when they come up against you, make war. Right? See, now you gotta understand, you have to have emunah. That Yahuah is going to give you whatever you need to get that job done. To prevail. To prove more powerful than the opposing force. Yahuah said they ain't going to prevail against you. They ain't going to prove themselves more powerful than you. Don't get it twisted. These wicked diabolical nations are doing everything in their power to prepare. Come on, these elites, these Satanists, they know that they're going to do battle with Yahushua Mashiach. You know, and they got all kinds of stuff. They talking about aliens, they talking about spacecrafts, they talking about all kinds of stuff. They talking about flat earth. But they talking about, you know, inner earth, and they talking about the Arctic Circle, and, you know, they're talking about lands under the earth, all of this stuff. Listen, get ready for a great reveal. See, you know, their goal is to create so much distraction that you don't know what to do, right? See, but we understand in the witness, you know, it's all smoke screen, right? Smoke screens. Sleight of hands, right? Yeah, it's connected. But it's connected because we're the people. And because you got a wicked world where Hasatan is the prince of the power of the air. And if they don't have the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, they're all agents of Hasatan. If they have been born again in the water of Ruach HaKodesh, Yahushua, Yah's salvation, they are all emissaries of Hasatan. They gonna do whatever their father tell them to do. They gonna see whatever their father tell them to see. They gonna see the men in black. Listen, they gonna see, they gonna do, right? I mean, they gonna, listen, the great reveal is gonna reveal everything. It's going to reveal all the things that their fathers have hid from them. And the one prevailing theme is that there's a people. And all of this has everything to do with them. Not a second temple. Not a third temple. Not a Mashiach coming, or has come, or that's just come. None of that. Smoking guns and mirrors and all of that. You understand. Euphrates River done dried up. Things in the Eretz already unleashed. You better get ready. You know how you get ready? It's being born again in the water. It's the only way you're going to be ready. It ain't in Sunday service worship. It ain't in Christianity. It ain't in Christian insanity. It's not in that pagan Baal worship, Lord. And it's not in this earth pig worship in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Correct Paul's words. In the worship of Jesus. It is in Yahushua Mashiach. And no, I ain't gonna let up. And no, I'm gonna continue to call it what it is. And no, I ain't gonna have pity. You know, see, people speak emotionally when it comes to certain things. You know, 'cause they done came out of Christianity, and now they're like, oh well, we gotta remember, that we gotta. It took us a while to come out, so we can't be hostile. Well, what do you mean hostile? You mean we can't tell them the truth? We can't tell them they worshiping the earth pig? We can't tell them they're really worshiping Baal? We can't tell them that it's a diabolical thing to be in Christianity? We can't tell them the origin of Christianity? Right? We can't stay on this paganism? Oh, you want us to be complicit? Right? And take it easy on them. That's a problem. Right? That's a problem with us anyway. It's us. We need to take it easy on the Christians because, our grandmamas and our grandfathers, they prayed for us. Pray to who? Baal? Jesus? And you think that's why you're here today? You think that's why you're here today? You don't understand it. You don't understand that you're chosen of Yahuah. He's called you to be awakened, right? And he's called you to be awakened so that you can awake others. Listen, my mom was praying. She praying in Jesus' name for me to be delivered. Listen. Yahuah had me. He chose me from my mother's womb. He already knew who I was. He knew where I would be today. My mama didn't have nothing to do with that. Boy, God, I know y'all gonna be mad about that. My mama didn't have nothing to do with that. Yahuah chose me from my mother's womb. Now in this choice, he's called me to cry loud and to spare not, with the intentions of waking up those that are around me, revealing the truth of Torah, revealing the truth of the Besorah, in that the hopes of they may be made alive. They may receive this witness, that they may be born again. Yahuah's power. Somebody said this is tight, but it's right. He says, your enemies to fall before you, and they that make war with you shall not prevail over you. They will not be more powerful than you. Why? Because I am your Yahuah Elohiym, and I fight with you, and I fight for you. Avraham went up and rescued Lot. 350 men. His hired servants. And they did battle against kings. Why? Because Avraham had an atonement covenant with Yahuah Elohiym. That covenant that says Behold, I am with you and will guard you wherever you go, and I will multiply your seed as the stars of the heavens. I mean, went to war to deliver his nephew Lot, who went right back to Sodom. Delivered him. Fought vigorously and valiantly, put kings to flight. Because he knew who he served. He stood in a place of righteousness. He knew he was right. He was under an atonement. He was under an atonement. He was under an atonement. Because he was under an atonement, no weapon turned against him would prosper. He says, be widespread in a particular area at a particular time, be current. I don't know what that means. Prevail. Persuaded to do something. Right? Prevail. Yahuah was persuaded, convinced. Yahuah knew, because he was that sure word, that there was nothing could withstand him. And as long as Avraham, Yitschaq, and Yaakov understood Torah, because you know, Yaakov learned Torah in the house of Eber and Eber and Shem. He was with Eber and Shem for almost 20 years. 30 years. He studied Torah. Right after he secured the birthright, right, from Esau. He had to run. Esau was out to kill him. He ran and took refuge in Eber's and Shem's house. Shem's. And there he spent 30 years. Was that before or afterwards? Maybe it was afterwards. Because he went to learn from Shem and Eber. Well, it was twice. Twice he did. Anyway, he learned Torah. He understood covenant. He understood atonement. He kept it. It says here, not prevail over you, and I will bring you again into this land with joy and with children and with great riches. That's a sure word of prophecy. Isaiah 54. Sing, O barren, thou that didst not break, that did not bear. Break forth into singing and cry aloud, thou that didst not prevail with child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, saith Yahuah. Right? Now what he's doing is he's expressing how the nation still will grow to be a nation. Right? even in the midst of adversity, even in the midst of struggle and trial, right? They go still prevail. He says, listen, enlarge the place of thy tents, and let them stretch forth the curtains of their and thine habitation. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and stretch thy stakes. Yeah. Because you gonna grow. You were barren, but you gonna produce. But listen. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand, and on the left. And thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles. See, because get ready for the great reveal. Get ready for the great reveal. See, because he's revealing who the children are to the world. He's revealing to them how much their fathers have lied to them. It's great reveal. It's reveal how much they have lied to them. It's all been a lie. He's going to give them an opportunity to repent. See, because the time the Gentiles don't come until they repent. Or until they refuse to repent. Until they don't accept this truth, this witness. Till they lose their seat. See, because once Yahuah has gathered us to dominion and shifted, he says, for thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. You'll inherit the Gentiles. You'll inherit the other nations. See, because you've been the object of everybody's you've been the object of everybody's folly. You've been used, you've been robbed, you've been spoiled. Your lands, your resources have been taken. They removed your borders and restructured everything. But you didn't think Yahuah was going to honor his word that he gave to Noah and to the sons and the territories? You just think you can go in and you can just take Yahudah, take Jerusalem's land, right? Canaanites. It was Shem's first. It's Avrahim's. Yeah, we're going to inherit the Gentiles in the desolate cities. Going to be inhabited. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed. Because for so long we've been living in shame. Neither be thou confounded. He's always confounded. Not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, not knowing who to turn to, just confounded. Right? Let's do this. Verse 4. Let's look at that word confound in Hebrew.
Strong's H3637. Kalam.
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 To be insulted. to be ashamed, to be humiliated, to be ashamed, to be put to shame, to be reproached, to be put to confusion, to humiliate. You know, we went through this because we were outside the covenant. We had to endure this because we were outside the covenant. We were still his people. He loved us, but we were, you know, we were outside the covenant. He had a kid. He had an agreement with Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, but we were outside the covenant. Fear not. Thou shalt not be ashamed, neither shall you be insulted, neither shall you be the object, neither shall ye be the object of humiliation. Neither will they be able to shame you and insult you. Right? Right? For thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of your youth. Thou shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore. See, because you know, when Yahuah restores, brings us back to our land, we ain't gonna remember it. Shame. The insults. Humiliation. The widowhood. We ain't gonna remember how strung from trees. How we were castrated, how we were buck broke, how our women and our daughters were raped, how our babies were fed to the gators, how our children, their head was dashed against the stones. Remember at the time that she witnessed her husband murdered, her son murdered, her fiance murdered. The shame of thy youth shall not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore, for thy maker Yahusha, thine husband Yahusha, Yahuah, the Adonai, the Abba, Yahuah of hosts is his, Yahuah is his name. Thy Redeemer, YASHAR, Yahusha, the Holy One of YASHAR, the Elohiym of the whole earth shall he be called. Not Baal. Not Earth Pig. Not Osiris. Not Ra. Not Helios. Not Zeus. Not Thor. Not Odin. No Estar. No Mary. No Isis. No Diana. For Yahuah hath called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou wast refused, saith Elohiym. God, you're rejected. Nobody wants you. Yahuah sent Yahusha, purchased, bought you. You who will receive the witness who would come under the atonement. He says, for a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Listen, they can't do nothing to you. You've come under the atonement of this Redeemer, Yahushua Mashiach. Can't nobody do nothing to you. These signs follow you to believe because you have his seed. Can't nobody do anything to you. For a small moment. Listen. I know it seemed like forever. You know, for at least the last 1,500 years, we've been in and out of perpetual slavery. Actually, most of our existence. From the time we left, from the time we was in Mitzrayim up until now, it's been an uphill, downhill battle. There was a period of maybe a couple of 100 years where, you know, we was okay. But that was short-lived. Because we broke atonement. We didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We didn't remain, continue, and dwell in him. We opened ourselves up to our enemies. We opened up ourselves to our enemies prevailing against us. We put our guard down. We turned our backs on Yahuah's Torah instead of guarding the watch. Instead of guarding his laws, statutes, and commandments. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready for the great reveal. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready for the great reveal. You must be born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh. Because what this reveals is going to come immense persecution. And the only way to be protected is being under this witness. Being under this atonement. See, that's why Yaakov had the guarantee. He had the guarantee of Avraham. He had the guarantee of Yitschaq. He had the guarantee just like Yaakov, and Yaakov had the guarantee. Because they kept atonement. They kept atonement. See, and he gonna gather us because for thy maker, Elohiym, thine husband, verse 5, the Yahuah of hosts is his name. Thy Redeemer, Yahushua Mashiach, Yahusha, salvation. He is the Holy One of YASHAR. He came to his own, YASHAR. He is the Elohiym of the whole earth. Yahusha is salvation to the whole world if they want to receive it. It's only a remnant going to receive this witness. It's only a remnant. He said, in a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment. Right? A moment. 1,000 years as a day. A day is as 1,000 years with you. 1,000 years is a glance. 1,500 years is a glance. In a little wrath, I hid my face from thee for a moment. But with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahuah, thy Redeemer. So Yahuah is sending redemption through Yahushua Mashiach's witness. And he's going to gather those that he has sealed with his Ruach HaKodesh. He says, for this is the water of Noah unto me. Oh yeah. This is as in the days of Noah. Right? See, and I'm gathering those into the ark that has received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, who are under the atonement. I'm gathering them, right? For this, the waters of Noah unto me. See, he's got to gather his before he judges the world, before he brings the destruction. He's got to gather. He's got to gather. And you know, there's a physical gathering, but there's an identification that comes with this gathering. You got to be identified as his. So it ain't enough to know that you Hebrew, you E1B1A. You got to be in his witness. You got to be born again of the water and the Ruach HaKodesh in order to be gathered. He says, for as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more cover the earth, so have I sworn that I would not be wrath with thee, nor rebuke thee utterly, or rebuke thee. I promise to deliver you. I'm going to bring wrath and judgment upon the Eretz, but I promise to deliver you. All those who want to be up under this atonement, right? I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more cover the earth. He promised that he would not destroy the earth with the water, right? That same covenant he made with man, or he made with Noah and his sons, right? That he would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee, if you come up under this atonement. Noah offered up an atonement. And that atonement was for the sins of the earth and the sins for man. And because of Yahushua HaMashiach's witness, by virtue of that atonement, right, he's not wroth with us. Nor is he going to rebuke us, because we've come up under that atonement. The atonement of Yahushua Mashiach. The only way he ain't going to be angry with us is because we're under the atonement. Only way we're going to escape judgment is if we come up under the atonement. Only way we're going to escape is if the sin issue in us has been satisfied. If my people, which are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray, come in under an atonement. Seek my face and turn. Provide sacrifice. He said, I will not be wroth with them, thee, nor rebuke thee. Right? He says, right, for the mountains shall depart and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall my covenant. So listen. I'm going to shake the earth at the foundations of his core. Oh, yeah. Mountains will be removed. But see, my loving kindness through the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, my atonement, Greater love have no man than this. Yahuwah should lay down his life. His loving kindness. Yahuwah. To purchase our Yeshua. Our redemption. He says, mountains shall depart and the hills may be removed, but my kindness, through the witness of Yeshua Mashiach, shall not depart from thee, neither shall my covenant, right? That covenant that comes through Yahushua HaMashiach, this renewed covenant, right, of peace, be removed. Yahuwah is an allure of peace. Without the shedding of blood, there's no restoration of a covenant. The covenant has been restored in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Therefore, the covenant is in full effect for those who've received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Right? The covenant is full effect. And it's a covenant of peace. That's why he can tell the angels, listen, wait. I got to put my seal on them. They got to receive the Ruach HaKodesh. They've got to be identified as mine. I got to have mercy on them. He says, O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted, behold, I lay thy stone with fair colors, and lay the foundation with sapphire, right? The prepared place, right? And I will make thy widows a gate, and thy gates a carbuncle, and all the borders of pleasant stones. Listen, you is going to restore and to put in place, right? He's going to establish, right, unions. In righteousness shall thou be established. We're going to be his because of this covenant, this atonement, through Mashiach's witness. He's going to gather us because of the atonement. He's going to establish us because of the atonement. He's going to give us the Gentiles because of the atonement. Listen, you know, there are going to be Gentiles in the earth that ain't going to receive this witness. He going to give them to us. We going to give them to the Egyptians. Oh, Sabaeans. Anyway, there's going to be a shift. And I ain't talking about the Gentiles, the other nations, the strangers that are born again. They in with us. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about those that ain't in this witness. Is going to be a part of the handmaidens and the servants. It's a shift. You said those that led into captivity, right, must go into captivity. He says, and all thy children will be taught of Yahuwah. They're going to all be taught Torah. They're going to all be taught under Torah. They're going to all understand what it means to have the peace of Yahuwah, the presence of Yahuwah. In righteousness shalt thou be established, for thou shalt be far from oppression. Listen, you ain't going to have no familiarity with oppression. You talking about a people who have been oppressed for generations by the world. I mean, we've been hated by all nations. All nations have oppressed us. You know, they oppress us on the continent, right? And they don't want us to take responsibility and to do the things that we need to do, develop the nation of Africa, of the continent of Africa, as countries. They want to dictate to us, right? No. Get ready for the great reveal. Oh, yeah. Get ready. And I ain't talking about going to Africa and entertaining Ruachs. No. Get ready. Yahuah's going to have enough of that too. I ain't gonna have enough of that too. In righteousness shalt thou be established. In righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, and thou shalt not fear from terror, for it shall not come near thee. You ain't gonna fear from terror. Now there gonna be terror. There's gonna be terror around, but it ain't gonna come near us. We ain't gonna have to fear. Fear no more. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. Because they're going to still try. They're going to gather. But Yahuah's already gathered us. He's established, identified us. Yeah, they're going to try to come over to the continent. They're going to try to run rough shot. Right? They ain't going to win. It's going to be like breaking into Wakanda. You ain't getting to Wakanda. It ain't happening. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. Behold, I have created the smith and the bow and the coals and the fire, and that brings forth the instruments of his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. You was eating more about no terror. I created the waster. I created him that's going to come in and destroy. I do that. He said, listen. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. Advance. To rush upon you. To advance, to prosper, to make progress, to succeed, to be profitable, to make prosperous. It ain't gonna happen. No weapon. Nobody. Nada. No way. Understand. If you are in this covenant, the same covenant that Avraham, Yitschaq, and Yaakov was in, through faith in a Mashiach as YASHAR and Yehudah, that applies to you by virtue of your seed. This covenant is with you to restore you to your land. That's a covenant right. Through Yahushua Mashiach's witness. This is a renewed covenant. But to the grafted in the Gentiles, this is new. Right? Yahuwah's going to bring them as well. Right? But you are born. You are who he has waited to redeem. You are he that he has waited to redeem from the lands of your captivity. Listen, these Gentiles ain't in captivity. You know, they have received this witness because, you know, Yahuah has chosen them, right, to receive this witness, right? And they understand the value of this witness. And, you know, if they're doing Yahuah's business, they reaching other Gentiles for that. Right? Right? Because, you know, that's what you was giving them the witness for to do. To reach others. But understand that you are the seed. And if you in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, ain't no weapon formed against you prospers. No weapon advances, rushes, take advance, succeeds against you. None of these wicked, diabolical leaders that wants to give you a Claudine or Aberdeen or a Maxine, they can't prosper. Every tongue. Now you can't yield yourself willingly to a Claudine, an Aberdeen, or a Maxine. No, not after you receive this witness and expect, Yahuah just to say, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take it because I need a job. But I believe Yahuah. No, that's stupid. That's provoking Yahuah to wrath. You done got all the evidence and information, and you understand what the plausible outcome is, and you gonna still do? No. You gonna die. Yeah, you gonna die. But if you receive this witness in the Ruach HaKodesh, right? Then no weapon formed against you prospers, right? No matter if you 3, 4 of them. At the end of the day, once you enter into this witness and you've received the blood of atonement, right? That's greater than anything. You're gonna be challenged and you're even not to believe it, but you gotta believe it. You gotta believe it. I believe it. I told you about that dream that I had where I was at this training facility. It was a military facility or something, and they were preparing for this pandemic or academic pandemic or something was going on. So we were all up being kind of trained in this area, right? But it's funny because I wasn't really trained, but I was there. I was almost like an observant. I was observant kind of individual. So, I kind of wandered out and I went down front and I seen all these cots and stuff, and it was like this auditorium kind of thing. And I seen this soldier, right? European soldier. He had this bottle, right? And he lifted it up and he smashed it to the ground. And I seen him and like, what the heck is he doing? And he looked over and he seen me. I seen him. And then all of a sudden, this vapor, the smoke started moving. And people started bleeding from the nose and eyes. And it was just, and I took off from it. I was running nonstop. I was running. And he got to me and touched me. I'm like, oh, wow. So I'm running. So I'm thinking, I'm looking. So I looked up right in my face, right there. And I noticed there was some blood, right? I'm like, oh, man. I said, no, Hasatan, no weapon turned against me prospers. And I'm running. Nope, I don't believe the report. Running. Then I did it again. It was nothing. There was nothing. And of course, I was ducking and hiding. I was trying to get away from him. And I got to a point where I ran into some people, coming out. Our people were still in the streets. It was like mayhem. It was in the streets, but it was all of our people in the streets, mayhem. And I pull up in my aqov in the front seat with another guy driving, right? And there was 2 sisters in the back, and I ended up sitting in between both of them. Like, get it. So I get in. I'm like, oh man, wow, we gotta get out of here, man. We gotta go. We gotta leave. We gotta leave. And the girl said, yeah, we need to go to the Republic of Congo. I'm like, yeah, the Republic of Congo. That's where we need to go. Republic of Congo. Like it was just like in the ruach. And I knew that it was a place. So I said, well, we got to get a boat. We got to get on a boat. We got to get there. We got to go. I said, yeah, let's go. And we took off, but then I woke up. But the part that is significant is the fact that I had to believe even in my dream. Though I thought I was bleeding and I seen something, I had to be able to speak a word in the Ruach HaKodesh and Emunah, no. And of course, it was nothing. right? So he says, no weapon turned against us shall prosper. Every tongue that rises up against us, right? Every tongue that rises up against us to judgment, right? To judge us, right? We gonna condemn. No, I don't receive that. I don't accept that. That be on you. That verdict be on you. That condemnation be on you. That judgment be on you in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Because you know what? It's our heritage. No. He says this is the heritage. Right? So what's that Greek word, Hebrew word for heritage?
Strong's H 5159. Nachala.
Nachala. It means the possession, the property, the inheritance, the heritage. The property, the portion, the share. The inheritance, share, inheritance, share, portion. Right? Heritage. An inheritance. Right? Shared heritage. Heritage. Right? Ephesians, I'm going to read this real quick. Ephesians 13, in whom also ye trusted after that ye heard the word, the truth, the Basora of your Yeshua, in whom also ye, after ye believed, ye were sealed with the Ruach HaKodesh of promise. You sealed, right? You are his, which is the earnest of your inheritance. It's the down payment of your heritage, or what you stand to inherit, right? It's the down payment. It's the earnest of your inheritance. It's down payment of what you are to inherit, right? What you are to inherit in its immortality, right? What you are to inherit is this likeness of Hamashiach, which is going to cause you to be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. That is what you're going to inherit. You're going to inherit eternal life. You're going to inherit an eternal existence. You're going to inherit that which causes you to function in the super. You're going to function as a Mashiach. The inheritance until the redemption, until the purchased possession. Because see, you still got to be gathered. Right? But this is what you're going to need. You're going to have it. This until he gathers you. Until the praise of his glory. Because you are his possession. Right? Because he put his seed in you. That makes you his. Right? Wherefore also, after I heard of your emunah in Yahushua HaMashiach, Adonai Yahushua, and the love for all the saints, cease not to give thanks for you, making mention of you in my prayers, right? That the Elohiym of our Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach, the Abba of glory, may give unto you the Ruach HaKodesh of wisdom and the Ruach HaKodesh of revelation in the knowledge of him, right? That the eyes of your understanding may be enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of his calling. Know what is the hope of his calling. That you may know what is the hope of his calling, right? Excuse me. And what the riches of the glory of his inheritance is. The glory of his inheritance in the saints. So I got an inheritance in me, right? What does that look like? The exceeding greatness of his power to usward who believe. Exceeding greatness of his power to usward who believe, according to the working of his mighty power. So there's some power to usward who believe, right? To usward who believe, right? Isaiah. No, that's not what. To usward who believe, right? He says here, and this is the heritage, the exceeding greatness of the power to usward who believe. This is the redemption. This is the Yeshua. This is the salvation to usward who believe. Right? Right? We are his possession. Right? The inheritance of the servants, right? The slaves, the servants, right? Hebrew, right? Abed.
Strong's H,
Abed.
5650. Eved.
Or Eved.
Eved.
Eved, right? Slave, servant, manservant, a worshiper of Yahuah Elohiym. Servant in the Levitical prophet sense, right? Right? Servants, right? We who serve the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. We who serve Yahushua, right? Servants of Yahuah, and their righteousness, which is of Yahushua Mashiach, through faith in his blood, which saith Yahuah, which is of me, saith Yahuah. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, we're going to stop there. This is a little bit longer than normal, but Yahuah wanted it. So, what enemies? What weapon? What can come out against me and prevail? Right? What can come out against me and be more powerful as an opposing force to me when I have Yahuah's witness? Absolutely nothing. But you got to believe this. You got to be fully persuaded. Your emunah has to be convinced. You have to be convinced of this truth. Then and only then. Then and only then are you going to experience Yahuah's divine intervention, protection, and security in the midst of this great reveal. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready for the great reveal. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, the words you've given me, I have given to them, and my prayer is that they would receive them in emunah, that it would come alive unto them, and it would bring life, that it would bring peace, that it would bring medicine, that it would strengthen, that it would encourage, that would bring the witness into full effect in their lives. Yahuah, this is about a people under an atonement. This is about a people that is under a covenant. The Ruach HaKodesh, the water and the blood. And because they are, they can stand with confidence knowing that, listen, they could cast out devils. They could speak with new tongues. They could drink any deadly thing and that haven't hurt them. They could take up serpents and shake them off. They could lay hands on the sick and they could recover. They could do the work of the ministry and not be concerned about their life. Yahuah, the enemy cannot launch an attack against them and have it prevail if it's not your will. Yahuah, there's no weapon formed against them that can prosper. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, I pray that this your word would cause them to see. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach, let the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness. Woman of Yahuah, beautifully and wonderfully made today. Yahuah's favorite. You understand this? Hasatan can't just do anything to you. You have to make up in your mind. You got to be fully persuaded. You got to be fully persuaded. You got to be convinced. You got to be convinced that everything Yahuah says in his word, he's well able to perform. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, again, that's all I got. With that I say, shalom, shalom, shalom. Listen, and be blessed. Beautifully and wonderfully made. Man called to greatness. Be blessed.
Torah guardian, speaking the absolute truth. Torah nation.